I'm gonna be honest. I was sent this video with the caption of "You're going to scream out when you watch this." And when I get these types of videos, I often get concerned, especially when I see white women as like the front runner, because it's like, what layer of stupidity or eloquent description am I about to hear?
So let me get this straight. It doesn't matter that I'm a leftist. It doesn't matter that I'm a climate scientist and activist. It doesn't matter that I voted for her. It doesn't matter that I met her at the White House through my work. It doesn't matter that I've been organizing in my community for 15 years to try to make it a better place. It doesn't matter that I'm advocating for help for my community to recover from one of the worst climate disasters in American history to date. Y'all just see a white woman in a red state advocating for help for people regardless of how they voted, and assume that I am a raging fascist who voted for that man, and therefore it's...
Yep. Sorry to break it to you, white woman. I have no idea who you are, but I'm going with the assumption based off of all the things that you claim that you've done and what I see right here in front of me with these words, that you are a leftist or somebody who voted for Kamala. And I'm here to tell you, as a part of the disenfranchised community itself, no, you will always be viewed as evil, especially when you live in a red state. It won't matter if you try to enact some type of change in policies that would be good for your state. No. You're always going to be evil, because when you're trying to, and I'm not necessarily talking about you, this is more so people who fit this description. When you are somebody always trying to feed the beast of acceptance with a bunch of people who are not accepting unless you bow down and kiss the ring, you will always be viewed as nothing more than evil. You should move out of your state is the things that they would say. You should move somewhere that represents every core value that you have, which is something that these types of people would say. It does not matter how good of intentions you have. You will always be viewed as nothing more than an evil white. No matter the good, you will always be viewed as such. But continue.
It's okay to bully, harass, and threaten me. Y'all are the reason why more people in red states do not want to organize with you. Because why on earth would we want to organize with people who threaten us?
Yes!
And say that we're only good if we move out of our red state.
Yes!
I'm sorry, but I shouldn't have to leave behind my house, my friends, my family, my husband's business for me to be taken seriously as an organizer. And
I love it. I love it. I've been saying it for years. The purity testing of a bunch of ugly looking people who do nothing but hold their phones in front of their face and spout you nice soliloquies about leftist policies are some of the most narcissistic motherfuckers on the planet. And they think to themselves constantly that I hold the keys to being correct in this kingdom and you shall bow down to me. And that's not exclusive to people on one political side. That's really every political side, because a lot of people like to think that they're the only smart person in the room. But for you leftists specifically, you tend to always not want to have everyone together based off of small differences. Some of you will be bold enough to wish failures on others because they don't fit every criteria that you hold dear to the letter 100%. And that is disastrous. That is stupid. That is evil. That is inconsiderate. And that doesn't get you what you want. And it emboldens me to say you're the reason, if you fit this category, why Trump won, because you spent all that time bitching and infighting over all these different things, from Palestine to Ukraine to who's black and who's Indian and what's the reason anyone would want to vote for Kamala, when you should have been galvanizing the troops to get them to vote for that woman.
And for y'all to not advocate for collective punishment. Because that's exactly what you're doing when you say that my community should suffer, that my community should fuck around and find out. Not everyone here voted for that man. Not everyone here could vote at all. And by saying fuck around and find out, you are actively
condemning random people who are on your side to punishment they didn't vote for. But because you people are so stupid, you're not seeing the bigger picture. And also, leaving where you're from, if it's a red state to a blue state, changes nothing, because a lot of these people live in these red states, wiped Kamala's nose at that election. So, moving doesn't really do anything. You don't really erase this quote unquote problem of people who already believe that they could galvanize their troops more and vote for who they want to vote for.
Harming the very marginalized communities you pretend to care about. So please, stop assuming that everyone you see in a red state is a raging fascist who voted for that man. There are many people here who are doing the good work, and I would argue are doing even better work than you are. All you do is complain about it on social media.
What a wonderful way to end it. Bravo, random white woman. I'm still gonna have to disappoint you just a little bit, because while your speech is very passionate, while you're trying to hit the nail on its head, while you're trying to get people to understand that you cannot build a village with everyone fighting over which parts are going to be used at different points in time, you're still going to be viewed as a problem. You're still going to be viewed as somebody who's talking in a very assertive manner to a bunch of disenfranchised, because the disenfranchised that you're trying to get to the point with are going to respond with very stupid anecdotes and soliloquies about how they're right and you're wrong, and how you're endangering us speaking to us like that, and how you're separating the entire cabal of people who are together, or some third option, because these fucking idiots don't necessarily understand what it is to be a community. Most of them want to live in a dictatorship where they are the ones who are the dictator. And it's sad that somebody could feel so passionate about wanting to make change and trying to go about it in their own community, let's be honest, at a disadvantage when they're dealing with living in a red state. And they're also getting shit from people who are supposed to agree with them, at least politically, saying that they're not good enough because they live, let's say, in Alabama. I don't know where this woman lives. Maybe Alabama. Who knows where she lives? It's stupid. If you actually want to be together and about change, don't look at these small examples that will not matter in the grand scheme and try to distance yourselves. If you actually want to have the things you want, at least in a political aspect, you have to be together. You can't be fractured. You can't be doing these debates, arguing with each other about this specific moment in time and how that's going to change everything and how you want to agree with people who you mingle with on TikTok. Be together, because if you can't, you'll have more people like this who will stand proud and say, hey, I'm sick of a lot of you motherfuckers who just grandstand on social media. I'm sick of you motherfuckers who just grandstand and don't do anything else, because there is a difference. I've said it, but I need to hammer it home just to wrap this up. There is a difference between an actual activist and the motherfuckers you see online just loudly proclaiming shit as they sit in their cars munching on Cheetos, thinking that as long as they say something enough and post other people's work and make sure that they have a nice little cadence to their voice, that they've done the work, because they've done absolutely nothing and they're fucking embarrassing.